Alright guys, there's a few things I want to talk about with the Dragon Ball series. Now, I'm gonna break it down for you at the beginning of this video to let you know exactly what I'm going to be talking about. First off, the Dragon Ball GT hate. I'm going to address that, what I think about it, and all that kind of stuff. Also, I want to compare which Dragon Ball is the best out of Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT. I have not seen the movie. I have not seen Kai. I heard it's both. I heard the movie is horse shit. I've never heard any movie with more hate than this movie. It even gets more hate than Annihilation, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, which is a movie I personally like. I personally like Super Mario Brothers, the movie. Those movies get hate pretty similar to Dragon Ball Evolution, but I think Dragon Ball Evolution gets a hate on a whole new level. I've not heard one person since it came out say something good about it. Now maybe that is the same about DMC. You know how people hate Dante just because his hair is black, even though he acts the same. You know, except for he's younger and more rebellious, which but he acts the same, but yet people still bitch about him just because of his hair, and he looks a little different in the face, but it's still the same general idea. It's a reboot, so of course, the fact that he looks that identical to Dante. But yeah, I'm going to make my DMC video shortly. But anyways, anyways, Dragon Ball is my favorite out of the three. I love Dragon Ball, then Z is the second best, then GT. Do I hate GT? No. The reason I like Dragon Ball better than Dragon Ball Z, which Dragon Ball Z is the all-time favorite of most people. Vegeta, by the way, is my favorite character. I love Vegeta, I love Super Saiyan 4, but Super Saiyan 4 does not belong as a Super Saiyan. I believe that it belongs in its own kind of form. Like Kaioken, Super Kaioken, Super Saiyan 1 through 3, I can understand the Super Saiyan family 1 through 3 makes sense. But when it comes to Super Saiyan 4, it does not. It's a whole different transformation. I did not watch GT until recently. I just finished it. I'm really sad about it because that means there's no more Dragon Ball Z unless I watch the movies. But the movies are kind of at least the ones I've seen, which is the first Cooler movie. I think what's his name? Barback? I forgot Goku's dad's name. And I've seen one other. I think Garlic Jr. I've seen. Anyways. GT is not as bad as people say. There's only like 10 bad episodes out of the 64. And that is episode like 4 through 15 or something like that. Around that is pretty bad. But the first few episodes is really good. It's like Dragon Ball Original, which is, my favorite. And then it kind of gets to gimmicky. It becomes a joke. It's stupid for those episodes. But then it gets to the Baby Saga. Now, the Baby Saga is awesome. I love Baby Vegeta. Baby Vegeta and Omega Shenron are my top two villains. Frieza is my top villain in Z. I love pretty much every ounce of Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Original is my favorite anime of all time under Bleach. It's Bleach and then Dragon Ball. I'm not going to name the rest because I want to make a top 5 animes of all time. I want to go in more in depth with those. So I'm going to make a traditional list, but I want to make a list afterwards. But anyways, oh yeah, Vegeta's my favorite character. I've always been a fan of Vegeta. He's badass. He put in funny situations. It's like the episode where he's wearing the pink shirt because they don't I think it was the Android Saga or the Cell Saga. No? Yeah, it was the beginning of the Android Saga. Where Vegeta was wearing a pink shirt and he was he was very embarrassed by it. Just like the mustache in GT. Same thing. I just love Vegeta in every aspect. I love the comedy of the character. I love the badass of him. I love his voice actor. I love the original voice actor too. I love his hair. I love the cold-heartedness of him. Too bad he's never catching up with Goku. I think Goku. The problem I have with GT is that it focuses on Goku still. I think Goku. I mean, when he was turned into a kid at the. I'm not. All right. Spoiler alert. This is for all people who's watched GT full on. Goku grows up at the end. Okay, Goku grows up into a full-blown adult by the end of the show. It goes 100 years in the future. I don't really know exactly. That's what it says anyway. So it goes 100 years in the future. Goku decides to grow up manually. It becomes a new generation, and you just see, Goku. He's just waiting for the next battle, and it says the end. And it was a very good ending. I hear a lot of people bitch about the ending of GT. I was expecting the worst possible ending. I mean, all that happened is, Goku decided to grow up. It was kind of a little sad, I guess, to you, but that was the end of the episode. That's the end of it. There's nothing that can continue. I loved it. I love the ending of GT. I don't get it. Even my sister, she watched it before I did, or because I had it downloaded and she was streaming it on my Xbox, and I stream it on my PS3. It all comes from my computer. She was talking about how sad the ending was, and I've seen on forums everything of why GT gets so much hate. Now, the reason I initially hated GT was because of Kid Goku. I did not like the idea of changing Goku into a kid because I was a big fan of the adult Goku, even though I like both. I just don't like the fact that they did that. It just it was fucked up, Especially Super Saiyan 4, how he goes from kid to an adult. That just makes no sense, Like, I wish, maybe he did grow up. Maybe mid-season. Maybe, by episode 30, he became an adult. Another problem I have is the way they treated Cell and Frieza in GT. I really was hoping they at least got more powerful, and maybe they became a threat again, because Frieza is my favorite villain of all time. It's kind of a hard choice between him and Baby Vegeta, because Baby Vegeta is fucking awesome. And even Omega Shenron, the one-star dragon, is, he's awesome too. Like, I love the 4-star dragon, Nova. He's awesome. I like the fact that he's the only good dragon. He is cool. I liked him before I even found out he was cool. But the Buu saga and Z was pretty cool. It was a little goofy, but I liked it. I love Fat Buu. I was really pissed when Fat Buu turned into Maju. Maju, to me, was a waste of a character. It's not a bad show. It can piss you off in a lot of ways, but it's not a bad show. That's what I mean, I do have my complaints about GT, but it's a good show. You can't say it's a bad show just because it's not based on the manga, I heard. That's not it. It's a very interesting show. It's very action-packed. It's very interesting. It's a good overall show. I enjoyed it. I was addicted to it. When you're addicted to a show, that's a good show. I don't get why everybody hates on GT so much. Maybe it's not as good as Z. Maybe it's not as good as Dragon Ball. What do you expect? Dragon Ball was the greatest anime of all time, in my opinion. And Z was, most people I know's first anime love, Most of my friends, at least, if they like any anime, it's Dragon Ball Z. At least at one time. Nowadays, it's more of, Naruto, which I love too. No matter what you say, Fast and Furious 450, Naruto is awesome. You may not like the character, whatever. I don't know why you let some character, you hate him so badly to where the show sucks, I mean, it's a very interesting show. Naruto has some of the most epic fights ever. It has some of the most interesting character development, the most interesting characters, some funny-ass characters. A lot of things about Naruto are good, but I'm not going to get into that. So this is Dragon Ball related. I love Dragon Ball because it was funny. It was perverted. It was adventurous. I love the fights. It felt like it wasn't trying to be fight. It was just, when they did fight, it was epic. I thought the fights in Dragon Ball Original was more epic than the ones in Z because it didn't feel like it was a fighting show. It felt like it was just something like a boss battle, you know. In Z, it's just another fight, just another fight. You know, I love Z. Don't get me wrong, I love Z. You know, DBZ. Although I just found I was asking my friend Chris to look up the reason why it's called Z, and he looked up the fact that it's called Z because it's the last alphabetical letter, and it was supposed to be the end of the series, yet it wasn't. And if it was supposed to be the end of the series, then why the last episode feels like such a cliffhanger type episode? That's what I don't get. If you're gonna leave off to where Goku's next journey, you know, I just think that it should have gone into GT. I believe it should have gone on. I do think Oob should have been at least one of the main characters, though. That's my problem. You know, I don't want to see Goku as the main character in GT. I want to see Goten or Trunks or, you know, some new character that really hasn't developed yet. You know, I would say Goten. He could have been, you know, a very funny character. He looked like Goku anyway at one time. You know, I'd say Goten and Trunks. That would be a good pairing. That was always the pair in Z. So, you know, it'd be nice. You know, I would love to see, you know, Gohan, you know, do more in the episode. I don't like the fact that it was such a nerd. But that's nitpicking, though. You know, that's nitpicking. That's not breaking the show. You know, there's a lot of things you can complain about, but it's not breaking the show. And similar to my Dragon Ball's DMC complaints, I do have a lot of this nitpicking stuff that I want to address in my next video. But nitpicking, complaining about little things does not make you have. If you're going to complain about something to where you're trying to defend hating something to where it's bad, you got to actually address something that's actually bad, that actually makes the game or show horrible. But I'm going to address that in my next DMC video, so I'll leave that alone. Yeah, Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball they're about the same in a lot of ways, but I personally love Dragon Ball the best. It's just me, you know. I love Kid Goku. I love Master Roshi. He was a big part of the show. Bulma was the hottie, you know, the underage hottie. Krillin was awesome. Yamcha was awesome, even though he wasn't ever a threat at any time, except for maybe the second tournament. So yeah, Tien was awesome. Who else? Master Crane was awesome. You know, he was a good villain. You know, King Piccolo was my favorite battle in. Him versus Tien was awesome, and him versus King Piccolo. But I think King Piccolo wins it because he does the Dragon Fist, I guess, as they call it in GT. I don't think they actually had a name back then. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. That's all I'm going to say. I didn't want to make it too long. 13 minutes. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, rate, comment, and all that good stuff. Which is your favorite Dragon Ball? Do you hate GT? Why? Which ones do you... just touch up on what I said in the video. Thanks.